To continue the discussion is Ariel Cohen, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council and founder of the International Market Analysis. Thank you so much for joining us. So it's been 40 days of war, 40 days of ceasefire, thousands of lives lost, the largest disruption to the world energy supply since the 70s. And the first question that comes to mind, what has Israel and the U.S. gotten out of it now that we're looking at a deal?
Well, it's easy to start with what Israel didn't get. Israel did not remove the strategic threat to its existence coming from the mullah theocratic dictatorship in Iran, let alone the existence of the regime itself. The Iranian regime was not forced to comply with the demands of the United States. And now, after not one, but two wars, let's not forget the war in 2025, the 12-day war, the Iranians are behaving at the negotiating table as if they won the war. So we're vaguely negotiating about the nuclear file. It doesn't look like Trump is capable of removing the strategic threat through ballistic missiles, not just to Israel, but to all Iran's Arab neighbors and Europe. And there's no discussion of the proxies. There's a trifecta, the three-legged stool on which Iranian power in the Middle East was sitting. And that was nuclear, ballistic arsenal, and proxies. And the fact that after these two operations, Iran is, if anything, escalating its demands, suggests to me that this is not the end of the story, and there's no guarantees that as we get closer to the crucial midterm elections in the United States, Trump will have the stomach to continue to fight. And that suggests that Israel needs to think about the defensive and offensive priorities, such as missile defense, drone defense, what to do about Hezbollah, what to do in Gaza about Hamas, and eventually how to deal with the Iranian threat, because the Iranian threat has not been removed.
Right. And so let's get into this. What Israel is looking at right now as compared to what it was looking at 6 months ago or before the war, a few months ago. What is it that Israel is able to actually do right now? And also both in the short term, but looking ahead further, what's the opportunity? What's the possibilities?
Well, the possibilities are not getting better, because while several months ago we thought that Bibi Netanyahu sort of had the United States all stitched and Israel was in a lockstep, now the optics of this negotiations are that Trump is prioritizing Erdogan, Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia, and Qataris, and Bibi is sort of one phone call afterthought. That doesn't bode well for Israel. And I must say that after the disaster of October 7, 2023, the intelligence failure, the leadership failure in Gaza, and now a very undecided result in Iran, Netanyahu looks worse and worse for the Israeli electorate and for Israel's foreign partners.
And let's dive a little bit into that. Of course, this is a big international story, but for Israel and for Benjamin Netanyahu specifically, how does this bode for this upcoming election? I mean, this cannot be anything but a political challenge.
Well, it's a challenge that escalated. There are other files. There's a Qatari money file that, in my opinion, they're casting a dark shadow over Netanyahu's cabinet. What happened? Who took the money? How much money? What happened with the money that was transmitted to Gaza via Jerusalem? There is a question of who knew what about the Hamas plans to attack Israel on and before October 7th. Look, I'm old school, and I'm also an Israeli lawyer. I do believe that there is a reason why ועדות חקירה ממלכתיות, the government commissions of inquiry exist, and under the government commission of inquiry, all these issues that I just enumerated need to be investigated very, very thoroughly. And the fact that 3 years after October 7th, they're not, raises serious questions about how this government is rolling here. The other thing I would say is the failure of the Netanyahu government to provide a strong response to a campaign of demonization and vilification of Israel, of the Jewish people, and of Zionism. And very little is done so far to push back. There are 5 factors in the world that are actively destroying Israel's legitimacy. It's Iran, Qatar, with the Muslim Brotherhood, Turkey, and the far left and the far right in the United States and in the West. And we need strategic responses to this massive information warfare campaign that is launched to endanger the Jewish people as much as the Jewish people was endangered during the 1930s, during the Nazi times.
All right, certainly a lot to take on. Ariel Cohen, thank you very much for your analysis and inputs.